Chiamo, Afurakanu, Afuraitkaitnut, Medinde Odwirafo, Kwesi, Nehem, Ptah, Akhan. Akwamuman, Amaruka, Atifi, Odwirafo. That means greetings to all Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, meaning Africans, black people. My name is Odwirafo, Kwesi, Nehem, Ptah, Akhan. Odwirafo of the Akwamu Nation in North America. Odwiraman, the Purified Nation, Odwiraman, within the Western Hemisphere. Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people in the Western Hemisphere. We just wanted to update the Oman, the community, the nation, on our activities since the beginning of our new year. Our new year begins on September 23rd this year, which was the first full day of the autumn Atemet equinox, and therefore the first full day of our new year of 13,016. Of course, we do not track time based on a fictional cartoon character who never existed, Jesus, Yeshua, and so forth. We have an astronomical cycle, the Afuraitkaitnut, the great year cycle, which is a 26,000 year cycle. We are in the midst of that cycle, hence the years beginning with 13,016. Since the beginning of our year, we are 9 weeks into our new year of 13,016. We've had a number of events, and we have some events coming up. The first event that we had was in Washington, D.C., the Odwiraman Festival, Hoodoo Nation Festival. We're dealing with the Akhan Ancestral Religion brought in the blood circles of Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people into North America during the Kessie, the Great Perversity, the enslavement era. And the Akhan tradition is called Hoodoo, from the Akhan word Undu, which deals with root work, root medicine, Kanche, which is the Akhan term for conjure and so forth. This is the Akhan Ancestral Religion in North America, and therefore this was our first annual Odwiraman, Hoodoo Nation Festival, which took place in Washington, D.C. The next event that we had was on November 7th. We were in Montgomery, Alabama. We were presenting on our publication, Kukutuntun, the Ancestral Jurisdiction. In that particular book, we deal with the cosmological foundation of creation, the nature and function of Amen and Amenet, the Great Father and the Great Mother, the Supreme Being, the nature and function of Ra and Ra'et, the Creator and Creatress, who are grandchildren of Amen and Amenet, grandchildren of the Supreme Being. The Creator and Creatress are divine functionaries of the Supreme Being. We deal with the nature and function of the various abosom, deities, spirit forces in creation, the nature and function of the Nananom Nsamanfo, the spiritually cultivated ancestresses and ancestors of Afuraka, Afuraikai. And then we also deal with the origin of the whites and their offspring, the spirits of disorder. Then we also deal with the fictional cartoon characters of the Bible, Quran, and Talmud, none of whom ever existed of any race or in any form whatsoever. That means Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Solomon, Sheba, Menelik, David, Moses, Muhammad, Allah, Yahweh, Brahman, Buddha, and so forth. All of these characters are fictional cartoon characters who never existed of any race or in any form whatsoever. We prove that conclusively in the Kukutuntun. So we presented on that publication in Montgomery, Alabama on November 7th. We just had our KOKOBO movement. Our KOKOBO movement presentation this past Kwesi in Washington, D.C., based on our publication, KOKOBO. KOKOBO is dealing with the divine prohibition against dissexuality, homosexuality. We say dissexuality because dis means not. If you're not engaged in sexual activity between an Afurakani man and Afuraitkaitnut woman, then sexuality is really not occurring. So the divine prohibition against dissexuality. Dissexuality, homosexuality was never accepted in ancient Kemet. So in that book we show the various texts that the whites and their offspring picked from the various great corpus of texts in ancient Kemet. They seek to take about 7 texts and misrepresent them as texts supporting dissexuality, homosexuality. We prove conclusively that these texts not only do not support that perverse behavior, that death style, but they actually repudiate that death style. So we proved that in the book. We did a presentation on that, but we also have the KOKOBO movement. which is the eradicating dissexuality and homosexuality from the Afurakani Afuraitkaitnit community through ancestral religion. Through the practice of ancestral religion, our people realign themselves with divine order. Through the ritual incorporation of divine law and the ritual restoration of divine balance. That is what ancestral religion is. Afurakani Afuraitkaitnit, or African ancestral religion, no matter what form or expression it takes, in essence, it is the ritual incorporation of divine law and the ritual restoration of divine balance. When people who seek to realign themselves with order engage that process, then they connect with their direct blood ancestresses and ancestors who are spiritually cultivated, and they will remove that perverse desire right up out of the spirit of the person. Typically, our people have been traumatized, suffered from physical abuse, physical trauma, sexual abuse from the time they were children to adults, and then they are lured into that perverse behavior. Sometimes people have discarnate relatives who are criminals, who are child molesters, who are perverts, and so forth. When they died and their spirits separated from their physical bodies, they still seek to influence some of our people, and they have these desires in their mind which are really influences from perverse, discarnate relatives and non-relatives. When you deal with your nananom nsamanfo, your spiritually cultivated ancestresses and ancestors of your direct blood circle, they will remove these negative, discarnate relatives and non-relatives, and therefore the perverse desire that was coming from them, that was imposed upon the individual, is removed instantaneously and permanently. So in the KOKOBO movement, we not only talk about the book, we seek to spread that book. The ebook version is free, of course, as it's true with all of our books, but the softcover version, we give away a free copy of that at every presentation, and we seek to give away free copies in the thousands to our people wherever we are in the world. So we had that event on this past Akwesi Awusida Sunday. Coming up on November 22nd, we will be in Decatur, Georgia. That is a Sunday. Akwesi Awusida, November 22nd. We'll be in Decatur, Georgia, just outside, a few minutes outside of Atlanta, and we will be presenting on Hoodoo, the Akhan ancestral religion, born of the blood circles of Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people in North America. We will be presenting on our book, Hoodoo People, Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people in America, Akhan, custodians of Hoodoo from ancient Hoodoo, Ndunu land, Kanit, Nubia. In that publication, we prove the etymological origin and cosmological origin of the term Hoodoo from the Akhan language, and also going back to our ancient Akhan ancestral language of ancient Kanat, Nubia. We prove that conclusively. Ritual practices, names, titles, words in the language, ritual associations, and so forth. We go into detail about that in the publication. As with all of our publications, we will be giving away a free copy of the softcover version of that publication to everyone who attends the event. When we do events in different cities, we do not charge admissions fees for our people to come listen to our presentations. When our people come to the presentations, we also give away a free copy of one of our softcover books to everyone who attends. We do that at every event. We've been able to give away recently over 550 free copies of our softcover books to the Afurakani Afuraitkaitnit community throughout the country. And we seek to continue that practice. So we will be doing the same thing this weekend in Decatur, Georgia. We have published to date 17 books, over 70 articles. We have published over 200 broadcasts on Blog Talk Radio, as well as Ustream TV. The ebook versions of all 17 of our books, we have made them available as free downloads from our website on Odwirafo.com. Of course, all of the articles are free downloads in their ebook or PDF versions. All of the archives of our broadcasts are free downloads as well. We also sell the soft cover versions of our 17 books. They range between $8 and $11. We print our books in-house, in color, on our own printers. We do not contract that out to a third party. We control the entire publication process from beginning to end. So if you would like to support the work that we are doing, you can go to our website, Odwirafo.com, on the NHOMA page, the publications page, and you can make a purchase. The books, again, range from $8 to $11. Any order of 10 books or more is automatically 30% off. So the first 10 books are $66 for 10 books in any order of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 books. The entire set is automatically 30% off. We also have a 20% off discount for the first 5 books, and these discounts are permanent. We also have the option for the NHOMA monthly subscription option. You can have a monthly subscription with $15 or more. For example, a recurrent donation. You can receive one of our books every month in the mail. For the next 17 months, you can stop the subscription whenever you like. You simply go onto the website, make your donation, click the recurrent option. All the instructions are on the NHOMA page, the publications page, and therefore you can receive one or more of our books depending on the level of the donation that you enter. You can receive one or more of our books every month until you decide you would like to stop that subscription, or until you complete that process and you have received all of the books. We have 17 books out now, and more books are coming. We have Kukutuntun, the Ancestral Jurisdiction, as we talked about. We have Ubensheng, the Ancestral Summons, dealing with the ritual practices of Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit, Ancestral Religion, whether it's ancestral and shrine communication, ancestral and shrine, ancestral and deity communication, ancestral and deity possession, ancestral shrine communication, libation, nature worship, talismans, amulets, idols, meditation, ritual song, ritual dance, ritual prayer, ritual incantations. The various ritual practices we engage in, all of them are functional. We receive, process and transmit energy in a measurable fashion, in a quantifiable fashion. If we do not engage in that reception, processing, and transmitting of energy in a quantifiable fashion, then we do not engage. We do not have rituals that are symbolic without substance. Everything has a specific function, moving energy in a specific predetermined manner. So we deal with that in the Ubensheng, the Ancestral Summons. We also have the Okra complex, the soul of Akhan folk, talking about the nature and function of the soul, the divine consciousness, the divinity that dwells within the head region of Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, and of course Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit people, African black people only. The nature of that divinity that's assigned to us to guide us throughout the course of our lives. We have the book Afuraka, Afuraitkaitnut, the origin of the term Africa, where we prove conclusively that the term Africa comes from Afuraka, and we prove that in the Medutu. We are the first of any scholars, black or white, at any time to prove that Africa can be found in the Medutu, in the hieroglyphs of ancient Kemet, in the proper context of the creation of the world. So we deal with that in detail. We also show that continuity in the Akhan language as well. We have Maranechi, divine law, love, and divine hate. Divine law and hate are the two expansive and contractive poles of divine order. Law is the expansive pole of order. Hate is the contractive pole of order. There are deities of divine law, male and female, Ma'a and Ma'at. There are deities of divine hate, Herubehudet and Sechima or Sekhmet. So we go into detail about that to show specifically that divine order, Nyamewa, Nyame, and Sheshe, Amenet, Amen, Sesher, is comprised of divine law and divine hate. If you do not understand the divinity of hate, then you do not understand divine order. If you do not understand who the divinities of hate are, male and female, then you do not understand divine order. And of course, the whites and their offspring, and those of our people who have been conditioned here in the West, as well as on the continent over the past couple of hundred years, by the whites and their offspring, have propagated the misinformation that hate is not part of divine order. In reality, divine hate is one half of divine order. Just like your respiratory system and circulatory system, you breathe in air, you breathe in nutrients and so forth, you take in nutrients, but sometimes you also take in toxins. You're accepting and taking things in, but your immune and lymphatic systems isolates the toxins, the cancerous cells, the negative bacteria, and destroys them and pushes them out of the system. You accept what is orderly, you reject what is disordered. That is the way you maintain your vehicle. We accept law, divine law, and love, which is the same word. and we reject disorder through divine hate, divine rejection, divine repulsion. The forces of divine repulsion, rejection of disorder for the maintenance of the divine order are Heru Behudet and Seshima called Benna and Abinna in the Akhan tradition. So we get into that in detail. We also have the book Oberima Afurakani Manhood, a manual for Afurakani men, young and old. 7 chapters based on the 7 principal values of manhood connected to the abosom, the divinities that govern the solar, lunar, and planetary bodies which animate the 7-day week. That means every single day of the week throughout the course of our lives, we can align with the energy of the day, of the abosom that governs the day, and the principal value of manhood that govern that day. So we have that publication. We've transformed the lives of thousands of Afurakani young men and adults with that publication. We have Aakhuamuman Whole Life Journal, dealing with physical soundness and spiritual soundness from the center of culture. Natural foods, melanin, ancestral wisdom, resilience, a number of different things, identity and so forth, a number of different things we introduce in the Aakhuamuman Whole Life Journal. We also have our publication, More Means Dead, where we prove conclusively that the term more literally means dead. It has always meant that. We show the actual etymological origin of the term and the cosmological foundation that gave birth to the term. And our publication is the first to elucidate that actual etymology, that accurate etymology, and the cosmological foundation that gave birth to the etymology. More means dead, physically dead when people die, and they're in a negative spiritual state after death. They're called Mer in the language of ancient Kemet, MR, which became vocalized as more by the time it gets to English, and even in the living condition, when people are socially dead, slaves, vassals, servants, wretched, afflicted, they are called Mer as well. That is true in the language of ancient Kemet. That is also true in the language of the Akhan people, which is a direct reflection, descendant of our ancient ancestral language. So we prove that conclusively in our book, More Means Dead. We talked about our book, KOKOBO. We also have the book, Anidaho, where we deal with the origin of the term God, which is actually a title of Amen, Ganga, or the great Ganga, and Ganga et Urat, or Urit, a title of Amenet, dealing with invocation, also dealing with the release of water, pouring, libation, and so forth, the release of energy. We go into detail about that cosmology. We also prove that the term negus has nothing to do with nigger. We prove that the term naga has nothing to do with nigger. We prove that the term ngor, which is really nganga, or has nothing to do with nigger and so forth, because individuals who have tried to conflate these terms, make them representative of the term nigger, and therefore try to make the term nigger a divine term, which is ridiculous. We show the actual etymology of the term nigger, nigger, negro, and so forth, necro, going back to its root in the language of ancient Kemet as well, which literally means foes or enemies who are crushed or beaten to death. That is what the term nigga or nigger has always meant. And when the whites and their offspring learned that term from our people, they continued to utilize that term, except they sought to paint all of our people with that negative connotation. It is foolish and insane for our people to seek to embrace that terminology and try to make it divine. So we prove that conclusively. We also show that the term toro, which is the vocalization of the term, often mispronounced netter, toro, is not the origin of the term nigger. It's not netcher and nigger and so forth. That's nonsense. So we go into detail about that. We have our book, Ankh, the origin of the term yoga, and Kara, Kasa, the origin and nature of the chakra. We prove once again that the term yoga is a corruption of the term Ankh in ancient Kemet. The term chakra or kakra is coming from Kara, Kara in the language of ancient Kemet. And we show the cosmology that gave birth to the terms before the whites and their offspring existed in the world. We have our book, Nyokompon, Nyokonton, Ra, and Ra'et, where we're talking about Ra and Ra'et, the creator and creatress, as manifest in the Akhan culture and language and ritual practice as Nyokompon, and Inyokunton, the creator and creatress. We have our book, Odomankoma, Atumukopa, and Tredriampong Cherera, which is talking about Atem Kepra, or Atum Kopa, which is Odomankoma in the Akhan tradition, and Tredriampong, which is a form of Kepra in the Akhan tradition as well. We prove that conclusively and talk about the nature of these divinities. We also talk about the wife of Atem and the wife of Kepra, Asase Nebetepet and Asase Nebepet, who are manifest as Asase Afur and Asase Ya in the Akhan tradition, the two earth mother divinities. Of course, when Atem and Asase Nebetepet get together and unite and copulate, they give birth to Shu and Tefnut. So there's no sexual deviance going along with Atem as the whites in our offspring would seek to promote. So we deal with that specific information in that publication. We also have our publication, Ptah Sasatem, an educational curriculum for Afurakani Afuraitkaitnit youth as well as adults, a 7-module system designed to be implemented within 7 40-minute sessions, whether you're working with youth or adults as a human services agent or psychiatrist, psychologist, teacher, case manager, social worker, and so forth. Whatever kind of work you're doing, or a homeschool, Afurakani homeschool, or African Center Charter School, and so forth, this curriculum has been used in these various settings. Whether you're working on a weekly basis or a daily basis, it's a 7-module system designed to be implemented, as we said, in 7 40-minute sessions. We also have our publication, Mate Masie, the Ancestorhood of Nanaya, where we deal with ethical existence. We show 7 Adinkra symbols from the Akhan tradition that represent ethical existence, and then the thoughts and formulations of Dr. Bobby E. Wright, who's a black nationalist, Pan-Africanist psychologist, and we show the comparison between the ancient wisdom and the wisdom of one of our Nananom Nsamanfo, one of our spiritually cultivated elders, and so forth. We also have our publication, as we said, Hoodoo People, Afurakanu, Afuraitkaitnut in North America, Akhan custodians of hoodoo from ancient hoodoo Mdunuland, Kanit, and Nubia. And then the most recent publication is Odwiraman NHOMA, the Hoodoo Nation Journal. We published a book, the Odwiraman NHOMA, the Hoodoo Nation Journal, specifically for the Odwiraman Hoodoo Nation Festival, our first annual festival. We gave that book out freely to everyone who attended the festival, and of course the festival was free, and that book is available as well. Articles on hoodoo, including the spirit genetic, Akhan ancestral inheritance, showing our genetic connection from ancient Kanat, Nubia, and Kemet to West Afuraikai to North America, showing the Y chromosomal haplogroups that connect us from North America to West Afuraikai in the Akhan culture, all the way back to ancient Kanit, Nubia, and Kemet. We also have a number of different other articles as well, and the list of vendors, as well as people who are supportive and they have their own businesses, organizations, and institutions. Those who can't have come onto our Egwa Marketplace show that we broadcast every Akwada Wednesday, showcasing Afurakani, Afuraitkaitnit businesses, organizations, and institutions. Many of those, in fact, all of those individuals, organizations, and institutions, their businesses were represented, and you can find them in the latter part of the Odwiraman Hoodoo Nation Festival. So these are the books that we have published. Again, the ebook versions are free downloads from the website. The soft cover versions range between $8 and $11. You can, and again, you have the discounts for the first 5 publications, 20% off. So the first 5 books, those foundational 5 books, Kukuntuntum, the Ancestral Jurisdiction, Ubin Sheng, the Ancestral Summons, Afuraikai, the Origin of the Term Africa, Maranechi, Divine Law, Love, and Divine Hate, and the Okra Complex, the Soul of Akanfo. Those first 5 books, the NHOMA and NUM, as we call them, the first 5 are foundational with regard to the rest of the publications. The first 5 books, that set is 20% off as well, so it's $40 for the first 5 books. So when you go to Odwirafo.com, to the NHOMA page, the publications page, you can access our publications, you can see the various discounts and so forth, and you will also see the list of events that have taken place, but also are coming up. We will be once again in Decatur, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, November 22nd, this Akwesi this Sunday. And we also have events coming up in Rochester, New York. We also have events coming up in Hartford, Connecticut, in Jacksonville, Florida, in New Orleans, Louisiana, in Chicago, Illinois, and we have other events coming up. So continue to check the website, continue to check us out on Facebook and so forth. And as we always say, Yedase, we thank you for your support, and Yebeshiabio, we will meet again. Heads up.